Fucking amazing. It's my pleasure to bring up a guy. If you Google his name, it'll come back. Why? Jesse Joyce.
Hey, thanks for having me. I know that a lot of you guys don't know me, and it's kind of bittersweet for me to be here because I was Greg's writing partner for a lot of those jokes. And this was going to be the next project that we worked on together, actually. And I remember a couple of weeks before he died, he actually invited me to do this, and I said, all right, what do you want to do for it? And he told me, ideally, I would love to take an entire bag of pharmaceuticals and stop my heart so I don't have to roast the Sebastian Bach of retard jokes. It was really tragic when Greg passed away, and I think that when that happened, we all thought, why couldn't it have been Voss? And the answer is because you can't overdose on Extends and Crest bike strips. Voss, by the way, thank you, yeah, exactly. Thank you, Horse Teeth. I'm glad that you brought your wife here. It is always good to see my favorite comedy couple, Bonnie and Clydesdale. I'm just kidding, Voss is nothing like a horse. A horse gets a new bit every couple of years. Jesus, Voss, with your giant teeth and your leathery skin, every time I see your smiling face, I remember to take the business cards out of my wallet. You have tiny orange grease ball. You're like a Goomba Loompa. You are greasier than Jim Norton's babysitter's fist. Boss, I was on your website, and goddamn, your schedule is depressing. If you were on the road anymore, you'd be a pothole. Everybody's here, though. Look at this dais, right? Did Uncle Vinny's go out of business? The star power on this day is underwhelming. Jim, I'm embarrassed for you that I'm here. You got Geraldo's feature act. Was Hedberg's a college agent double booked to roast Tom Van Horn? Wow, all right. I'm in a room full of radio sidekicks. There are so many third wheels up here, I feel like I'm in a tricycle factory. Jesus, fellas, radio is dead, but you guys are trying to work your way up the ladder. I feel like I'm watching ice dancing qualifications the year before they discovered AIDS. Opie and Anthony and Howard Stern are the only reasons all of you fucks have been frozen to death. They have kept more corny shits afloat than a Nebraskan septic tank. Bonnie, Mrs. Voss is here. Bonnie told me that she and Voss do a lot of role-playing in the bedroom. In order to get her wet, Voss dresses like a feature weekend at Governor's. Otto and George were supposed to be here, but they didn't show up, which is good, because I'm actually not familiar with Otto's act, but that's probably because I'm not a Knight of Columbus. Bob Levy is here. Levy, I guess you're here to make Voss seem well-read. Voss and Bob Levy, I feel like I'm at a Densa meeting. Jesus, Bob, are you stupid? If you looked up your name in the dictionary, it wouldn't matter because you can't read. You are thicker than Mama Bisconte's mustache. Levy runs an empty comedy club in Levittown, PA. I went there one night, and that club was so abandoned I thought Sherrod Smalls had fathered it. Goddamn, Levy, you, more than any of these other fucks, have leached off the radio. No one has clung to a stern that tightly since the Titanic went down. You're like Siegfried's tiger because you've been mistreated your whole career, and the only thing anybody remembers from your show is that you ate an asshole. You look like Vic Henley's grandpa. You're 48, but your face looks 200. Your head is aging faster than the rest of you. You're like the curious face of Benjamin Butteater. Please stop eating ass on stage. The last thing you need is another crack in your face. Keith Robinson and Sherrod Small were supposed to be here, but they're not, and I'm furious that Keith didn't show up. What the fuck does he have better to do? He still uses Tough Crowd as a credit. That fucking guy did Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn for 2 years and nothing since. I think I'm going to write a show about what he's been up to the last 7 years. I'm going to call it Light Crowd with Call It Quits. I'm just kidding. I actually do know what Keith and Sherrod are up to. They're working on a new show. They're actually going to be doing a reality series with the Goslings. It's called John and Kate Plus Apes. It's probably better that Sherrod isn't here because this thing has to go under 4 hours. Sherrod is so notorious for going long that when he dies and sees the light, he's going to stay alive for another 40 minutes. Besides, it's not like anybody knows who Sherrod is anyway, really. Just the other day, I brought his name up to somebody, and she was like, who is that guy? I had never seen him before in my entire life, but that was his daughter.
We actually don't really have any.
John James is here. Jesus, Don. Florentine is really dragging you through comedy. If you keep getting dragged around the business anymore, we're going to start calling you Keith Robinson's Knuckles. Don has a CD, and it's not bad. I actually listened to it in my car, but it only plays in the HOV lane because you have to bring 3 people in order to hear it.
Anyone else here?
Generic Bisconte is here as well. Gino, your act is so phoned in, I'm surprised Florentine hasn't put out a CD of him harassing in a retard voice. Joe Batshit Reese is also here. You are so fucking crazy. Did you get bitten by Gary Busey? Matt Reese is more insecure than the border of Pakistan. Matt Reese teaches comedy classes at the Stress Factory. What the fuck? Taking comedy classes from Joe Matarese is like taking defensive driving classes from Robert Schimmel. Eric McMahon is here, and folks, do yourself a favor. If you love safe and mundane observations about being married and having kids, then do yourself a favor and go see Ray Romano. But if you want to pay less than $5 to do it and don't care if there are punchlines, then give Eric a shot. And I can't ignore the elephant in the room. Eddie Trunk is here. Trunk is not just his last name, it's also how he picks up peanuts. Eddie is so fat, he got stuck in 1983. He hosts a show with Florentine, and as we can apparently see, that's as close as he's ever gotten to a gym. Look, Eddie, I know I've been hard on you, it's a lot of fat jokes, but keep your chins up, alright? Jim Norton, the great Jim Norton is also here, and Jim Norton, you look like a progeria kid whose make-a-wish was to go as Don Rickles for Halloween. Twitchy douche, you seem to have no control of your facial expressions. You look like Michael J. Fox in an electric chair. You are strung tighter than Eddie Trunk's sweatpants. You jittery fucker, you are more spooked than Al Sharpton's birthday party. Norton was in Furry Vengeance, and that's the first time they ever made a movie with wild animals, and the actor had the most ticks. Furry Vengeance, that movie was such an embarrassment to comedy, Bonnie tried to fuck it. Norton gets hookers to piss in his mouth, and he's been sprayed in the face more times when I asked Voss to explain the solar system. I'm just kidding, of course. No one would ask Voss to explain the solar system. Norton, you remind me a lot of that chick Urine Vandersloot killed in Peru because you've both been choked by urine in a hotel room. Norton does Hannity on Fox News. Jim, that guy is so full of shit. I'm surprised you don't do his show from under a glass coffee table. You are a fucking pervert. You have broken more laws than Eddie has folding chairs. I actually do really respect what you do, though, Jim. And I gotta say, I'd love to, pick your brain, maybe catch a ride with you. That is, if there's any more room on O&A's coattails. I've read your book, Happy Endings, the one where you're like nude on the cover. That is about as funny as the shower scene from Schindler's List, except I wasn't as disgusted seeing those people naked. There are more laugh out loud moments reading the Vietnam War Memorial. And now on to the man of the hour, Jim and Jim Florentine. Jim, what a fucking embarrassment of a headshot. Look at that shit. The only thing that would have made that better is if your headshot had been taken by Lee Harvey Oswald. You with a perm gave me stomach cancer. Sorry, there's nothing funny about stomach cancer except listening to Voss try to pronounce it. He went through a phase when he started out where he was known as Jammin' Jim, in case you didn't know, and then he went through another phase when he was fucking Robin Quivers, where he was known as Jumble Jim. Florentine and Rob actually made a sex tape, and I watched it. It looked like Greg Barron wrestling a bear. Jim, you're famous for that special ed character, and I admire that. Way to take retards down a peg. Did you really feel that mongoloids were getting uppity? Was that the reason you did that? Thank you, Florentine, for knocking retarded people off their high bosses. Jim has a bunch of CDs called Terrorizing Telemarketers. That's right, he terrorizes them, just like a terrorist would. Jim, you were nothing like a terrorist. Terrorists plan on bombing in a strip mall. He wears a chain wallet. Jim, if people really wanted that $150 so badly, they just steal it directly from Roger Paul. Comics know what that means. I've heard you talk about it on stage, that you have a little dick and giant balls. You're the only guy who can titty fuck your own scrotum. And it's no wonder that your balls are so swollen, because you've been eating them on stage for the last 15 years. Anyway, thanks for having me, Jim. And I just want to say that it's great, because you, actually, it was my first week emceeing was when I worked with you, and you were really cool to me, and I've always really appreciated that. So thanks for having me, and I'm glad this went well, because I was nervous about it, you know, following Greg and whatever. But I think it was cool, because it doesn't really matter, because nobody in show business is here tonight, so it'll be fine. Thanks for having me.
Very funny. And he opened for you, what was that, last week? I'm not gonna fucking follow 3,000 fucking jokes. I did my fucking job. Holy fuck. Otto's here? Oh, was I supposed to get excited? Otto's here? Where is he? We don't care about Otto, we just care if the dummy's here.